Hey you. Welcome to daily vlog number 5. Holy moly, we're crushing through these. Um, just to give a quick intro, I'll be doing this for 13 weeks straight. Um, just talking about all kinds of different things, um, anything and everything that comes into my mind, and just doing it for 10 minutes. Um, minimum. If I go over or under, it's no big deal, but the goal is to get to 10 minutes and just chat about anything, share my thoughts, and say hi to the world. Um, Summary of this video, basically the topic is going to be vulnerability, what that means to me, um, some examples of vulnerability in my life, um, and some resources that have helped me get through some pretty tough, emotionally charged situations. Um, but anyway, let's get into it. So, um, vulnerability. What does that mean? To me, I mean, obviously there's a definition for the word. But to me, that means being open, being able to share what it is that you are in that moment or how you're feeling, things like that. So just being very upfront, honest, and courageous. Um, I was just having a conversation with a good friend of mine about um, dating and how dating can be such a tough dance between the two people that are sort of figuring out what is going on and what is what. And that's tough, you know. Um, there is like tons of examples where you share your feelings with someone and then they don't reciprocate, and so there's that piece of vulnerability that you just kind of given up, and it it kind of you feel attacked in a way, you feel not valued if it's not reciprocated, right? Like you're putting yourself out there to hopefully get something back, but I think in that thought for me personally is maybe that's not that thought of just right, like putting something out there to hopefully get something back can be so misleading, right? We mislead ourselves to build this fantasy. We had a whole conversation about like building fantasies in our head of what things could be, how things um, should be in our head, but when we're faced with reality, especially during times of high emotions or emotionally charged situations, we get scared to be vulnerable. So dating can be tough, especially in urban areas, specifically New York City, right? Like a lot of people was like, "Oh man, New York dating is so shit," um, and it's so like terrible because this, that, and the other. But for me, I think it has a lot to do with people not allowing themselves to be vulnerable because in when you're in an urban area, you're so already on top of each other. And whether you're at home, you have neighbors that you can hear everything that they're saying through the walls, no, up above you, below you, left, right, behind you, in front of you, like you can hear everything, right? And when you're going out, commutes can be real tight, and it's like we build these like real rigid cocoons where it's honestly to keep ourselves safe. And so when you're dating, you come up with these sort of safe questions, right? So the whole like, hey, so what do you do for a living? It's like, or what do you do for work, right? Like it's like I'm 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 a finance person, or I work in finance, or I work in law. I'm a lawyer. I'm a doctor. I'm a nurse, right? I'm an assistant. Like it's like that doesn't define who that person is, right? That doesn't define you. But we ask these safe questions because it doesn't, right? It doesn't open up what really needs to be explored, which is if you're looking to get to know someone, if you're looking to make a connection, you need to ask some deeper questions, right? Like, man, I'm trying to think of an example. Um, you know, man, I can't even think of an example, honestly. But like asking these like questions about, so like, it's funny. I'm thinking about those freaking cards from Best Self Co, but um, maybe asking like these like leading questions where you're actively listening to the person and diving deep into them, right? So getting to that nitty gritty, being that child, right? Like asking that why over and over again, being curious, being investigative, and figuring that person out so that um, you're not only having this deep connection with this person, getting to know this person, but you're also validating their existence by questioning what it is that they're saying and diving deeper into them, and that helps themselves that helps the other person dive deep into themselves as well, right? um, One book I'd like to mention that was really impactful for me was a book by Brene Brown called Daring Greatly, and she is a PhD. So she's got a doctorate in social work. And in this particular book, she goes through these different experiences in her life that um, had a bit of uncertainty or risk and emotional exposure, um, which falls under this umbrella of being vulnerable. Um, and she kind of went through this research and found her truth in a lot of this. And um, we live, she's talking about how we live in this world where um, never enough, right, dominates. And feeling afraid has become second nature, where it's like fear is the comfort because it's an easy out. And when we shut ourselves off to this vulnerability, we shut ourselves off to ourselves a little bit, to being honest with someone, letting them know exactly and truly how you feel, um, and not playing these quote unquote games, right? These mind games, but um, no one's doing it out of malice. They're doing it out of fear. We all hold back sometimes because we're afraid what the other person might think, um, or what they might do. Um, and it's good to have a safe amount of that, but figuring out where that's coming from is probably helpful. And I say this sort of like being a little self-aware into my own sort of way of moving through vulnerability. Um, we make these like micro decisions every day, and like, how do we become as vulnerable as we can when we can, right? We don't want to be vulnerable all the time, but we want to be able to be authentic, be our true selves to those we care about, to those that we want to get to know, right? Um, so, yeah, what are your thoughts about vulnerability? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Um, what do you think? I feel like there's a lot to talk about here, and I'd love to hear some experiences you had with vulnerability and how that has affected you, whether it was in dating or other relationships. um, you know, let me know. So, thanks for watching. This has been a very sort of meta one for me, because this is an ongoing sort of a journey, experimental thing, I guess, for lack of a better word. But please feel free to comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what vulnerability means to you, what sort of experiences you had with vulnerability. Give me a like or a dislike if you didn't like the way this was formatted, or the way this content was delivered. I don't know. Or if you heard anything that you disagree or agree with, please feel, again, commenting is the best way to let me know how I'm doing. Subscribe, hit that notification bell if you're interested in getting notified when I post, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Okay, thanks. Love you. Bye.